So within this video, I'm gonna tell you how I was able to make over 6,000 rupees within 6 months with just Blender. And this was achieved with just 6 months of practice with Blender. So I practiced for 6 months. I trained a lot. I did a lot of practicing with how to make animations, motion graphics, etc. And then I started to earn through Blender. And for the next 6 months, I was able to earn enough to buy myself a new laptop and a new PC setup. And so there are certain things about earning from graphic designing or 3D animations or Blender in general that are not really talked about on the internet. And I think there are certain few important things that people miss out on. And I have written down a few things that I think are really important for you to understand if you are thinking of earning through Blender. So without any further ado, let's begin. So the very first tip that I have for most Blender artists, and this is because of my personal experience, I was able to earn a lot through esports community. And I'm talking about Twitch streamers, I'm talking about generally YouTube streamers, I'm talking about maybe small Indian streamers. All of them are really good sources of earning for you, and it's really helpful for them to be able to approach an artist like you who would not overcharge them. And so because they are in their growing stage and you are in your growing stage, you can help them out, and indirectly they will help you out as well. And this sounds weird, but here's the thing. Esports community is in the desperate need of animations and logos and motion graphics or whatnot, because if you really think about it, let's say there is a streamer. That streamer would probably want a stream starting soon animation, or maybe a be right back animation, or a stream ending animation. All of these animations, most streamers make them from stock footages that they found on YouTube. And in that way, it's not really original for them. And when you offer them a few things in a reasonable price, they will accept you. Now here's the thing, within esports community, you need to understand that there is another tip that goes along with this tip, and that is to find smaller clients. Now, in esports community, you need to see which clients actually want you. And I'm gonna stop saying esports community because you can also go ahead and do this for streamers in general. So for example, there was this girl once who was a singing streamer on Twitch, and I actually managed to make some animations for her for a small payment. And that was actually fun. So one thing that you need to understand is that smaller clients usually have a better chance of giving you work. You need to understand that with smaller clients also comes a few responsibilities that you should not disappoint them, because you are pretty much their first experience, and also do not go ahead and promote yourself in someone else's stream, because that is kind of a douchebag move on Twitch. But one thing that you can do is that you can just go ahead and have a normal conversation with them, tell them what you do, and maybe offer them something. And you need to understand that this is something that is not going to happen immediately. You need to stay persistent. But anyways, the third thing that I want to tie up with these two tips is that you need to be selfless, kind of. Now, don't be so selfless that you get abused by other people who you work for. But in general, as a 3D artist, especially as a beginner 3D artist who is kind of gonna struggle in this industry, because no matter what, there is a lot of good competition out there, you need to understand that whatever client you approach, you have to approach them with a selfless mind. I am telling you to approach smaller clients, and they are in their growing stage as well. You might actually have to undercharge them as well. In fact, one of the things that I did in my early stages of actually working for other clients was that I would make, let's say, one animation that they need for free, and that would give me a window to their trust, because they now know that I have some good skills. They know that I can work for them. And so eventually they might approach you back and pay you for certain other work that they need. So the best example of this was that I was able to make a stream ending soon animation for a streamer for free. And that streamer liked the animation a lot. And the reason why I wanted to make that animation specifically for that streamer is because they used a stock animation for stream end. And so when I made that animation for them, afterwards they were approaching me to make a stream starting soon animation for an amount of payment. So that was really good because I was able to convince them that I am someone they can trust. They were able to see that I was able to do good work for them. And that was the way I got into, being able to catch certain clients. Now you do need to understand that there is another thing that is very important with earning money through Blender. And that is, you need to really know the value of your work. Here's the thing, a lot of times old Blender artists overestimate their work, and beginner Blender artists underestimate their work. Both of this is wrong. When you finally start getting clients, people tend to get, in that mindset that they are the ones who are really working hard, they are making really good animations, and to a certain degree that's true. But they are now overcharging for that animation, maybe for that project, and that's not good. Specifically the people who I have made this video for, you would tend to undercharge people. And to a certain degree, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't undercharge people, because you are in your growing stage and that is how you will gain your reach. So that was pretty much it about these 3 points. Now there are 2 more important points that I want to talk about. The other way I was able to make money through Blender was doing asset designing for studios and for some indie developers of video games. Now this is something that you can really do, but in certain video games such as Roblox, just in general Steam video games, there are a lot of indie developers and they are in the need of some 3D asset designers and modelers. So this is one of the reasons why I promote hard surface modeling, because you need to understand that these types of models can be sold on sites such as Sketchfab, and even most people need these models. And so that is really good because you will not have to work too hard, because you just have to model certain hard surface objects, and that really works well. Other thing is that certain studios also need 3D models and 3D assets, and here I'm talking about logos specifically. There was this studio, Yatesa Production, and I worked for them and I made a motion graphics sort of animation for their studio's intro, and they liked it. And so this is something that you need to learn, because learning hard surface modeling, while it is interesting, it can become really hard later down the line. So yeah, you need to understand that you need to practice more with hard surface modeling and with motion graphics animations, because those are the 2 types of animations that will pay you the most if you get the opportunity. Now, with everything that I have said, the most important tip that I have for every beginner Blender artist is that just stay persistent. You need to understand that most of the time you are not gonna be able to find good work, and sometimes you might, do 1 or 2 work for someone for free so that you can gain their trust, and maybe in the future they will give you some work, and they might not. They will just take your work and be like, okay, I got something for free, and that sucks. But you need to understand that staying persistent is the biggest thing. If you, let's say, approach 100 Twitch streamers, you will probably only get 10 clients out of that who genuinely will pay you. And so you need to understand that persistence is probably the biggest thing. Most of the earning that I made was through some of the esports communities, especially South Indian esports communities. There are certain organizations and certain teams such as Team Manhatha and others who are really good clients. They pay me well, they give me some occasional work, and it's really good and fun to work with them. And so yeah, you need to stay persistent and you need to keep on looking out for opportunities that you can really try out. And with that, I would like to conclude my video. I think the biggest takeaway from this video is that you need to practice with motion graphics and hard surface modeling. And the other thing is that look out for opportunities on your own. Go out there, maybe try and find clients, maybe on Twitch as streamers. As I said, streamers are in real need of animation, so you can try that. That's really gonna work out. If it works out, it's gonna be great. And occasionally also do some free work, because you are in your growing stage and you should help others who are in their growing stage. I mean, if you really think about it, most of the streamers don't really charge you for their streaming, right? And they also have to take some time out of their life to actually be able to stream for you. So you can do a little bit of favor to them as well, and later down the line it will pay off. With that said, I would like to conclude my video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or if you really want to ask something specific, you can leave that in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one.